So hey, it's gonna be me talking this time, just what we always wanted. I figured since these are called SpeedPaint mistakes, I should probably talk about why they're mistakes. So basically I'm here to bash myself and hopefully you'll get something out of my errors. It's a learning experience. Also, I just realized I've left the window open, so if you hear birds and stuff, that's just gonna happen because I live in not a forest, I live somewhere with animals and wildlife. You just have to live with this. Anyway, onwards. Right. Well, this is actually an old drawing of mine, maybe a year or so now. Had a guess? I found the SpeedPaint file for it when I was clearing out my computer because I broke it. That's another story for another day. It was around about the same time I'd been writing this little mess of a Bioshock story. Also something we won't get into. But I thought, why not draw the alternate world counterparts? So you've got Jack Ryan, you silent son of a bitch. Why do you have to be so hard to draw? We'll work on you. So yeah, you've got Jack Ryan and then you've got Sinclair over there in the corner because always Sinclair. Before I get too deep into this, first thing I want to note is the shading here. It's really dead, isn't it? I mean, poor Jack looks like a zombie. Granted, sometimes he's depicted really sickly and eerie like the little sisters. I kept the yellow eyes for that. But in this case, I think it just looks really uncomfortable and not nice to look at is what I'm saying. I've seen people mention this before. Don't use black as a shader. It doesn't look good. It looks really unnatural and, again, dead. I actually used colour on this one, but the same lifeless problem applies here. You've got to pick the right colours for this. I made up for this a little bit later by adding some more colours, but it's still a bit of a problem. Now that's all wrapped up, a bit of background here. First mistake. I did this during one of my all-nighters at university. I know there's a bunch of night owls at my university, and sometimes being up really late or really early gives us a bit of an art kick. But I don't recommend it. I had actually done this on my second all-nighter of that week, and I'd only be getting about 2-3 hours of sleep at sporadic times during the day. Again, would not recommend. So, my first mistake was my genuinely mind-boggling state of exhaustion. When I drew this in pencil, I was fairly happy about it, but then again, it was 5 AM, and I went straight into scanning it and colouring it. I'm actually not sure why I started recording me doing the colouring at the end of this. I'd already done the line work and base colours when I started, but who knows what you're thinking when you're that tired. Second problem with this is the foundation is all wrong. The proportions look a bit wonky. Jack, he's not so bad, but Seb down there looks way off. Looks alright in pencil, but obviously it didn't translate too well here. And yet, what do? I persist. I just think, I'll add some colour and sparkles till it looks better. Little fun fact, that's exactly how I do all of my art. It is not a good method. Do not be like me, kids. Sometimes, you just got to let a picture go. You gotta recognize when it's not working and move on. Scrap it, you have better things to do with your time. Granted, sometimes you can salvage it, but not really. If the foundation is wrong, the rest will be wrong. Yet for some reason, I kept going on this, and now here we are. So, Jack got flat colours, Seb got weird proportions, and they both got okay backgrounds and effects. Because shiny. I think my biggest problem with all of this is just how lazy and desperate it looks. Too lazy to do it properly or take my time, but too desperate to do something with it that I didn't stop to fix all of these problems. For all the different types of messed up this speed paint is, I gotta admit, I'm still pretty fond of the effects on Seb's arm. It's pretty obvious I like shiny things by now. So many glowies and shinies. It's a miracle if you can actually see my art under all of that shine sometimes. Another tip, kids, show restraint sometimes. I clearly don't. The backgrounds aren't too bad, though if I could go back, I think I'd add Rapture's landscape into the background there somewhere. Also note, an alright background won't hide all of your mess. Though I do try. So those are my thoughts on this little speed paint mistake. But heck, if you do some of these things on purpose or not, at least you made something, and if you like it or think it's a good learning experience, then great! I mean, this isn't my proudest moment or my favourite work, but you know what? It exists! I think that's pretty cool. It's a thing I made, and even if it didn't turn out right, no one else can say that. It's my little poorly made baby. And I learned from it. So you go right ahead and make whatever you want, for good or for bad. You'll improve either way. Probably. I believe in you. You just live your best life, my friendos. Right, that's it from me. Have a great day and keep on making things. I'm not an inspirational person and I'm trying to think of positive things to say here, but this is a speed paint mistake, so you know what? Just be better than me and you'll be swell. See ya! It's a thing I made. I don't spell. It's not a thing I partake in. I'm not going to record any of that again. I'm not going to do it. I have to drive back to the city today to get away from these birds. I'm not recording it again. So we have a speed paint mistake and a recording mistake. It goes hand in hand. I like it. It's a good method. Let's go with it.